Welcome in. The camera is different than what I'm used to. It goes opposite than Zoom. Just waiting for everyone to get in here. Welcome in, welcome in. If you're new here, we talk about creativity, so feel free to have a seat, introduce yourself in the chat. Let me know what your medium is. Hey guys, thank you for the likes. I think I'm still getting used to the algorithm of YouTube, so I don't know if it helps to have likes, but any likes, comments, saying hi. Trying to grow my little platform here, just getting started, almost at 10,000 subscribers, which when I say that's crazy, so thank you. But it's Friday. How we doing? Oh my God, Chris, we made it to the other side. How are you? That's so crazy. Welcome in. Who is this? Carly? Or Carl? Yeah, Carly likely. How we doing, guys? Chris Mahan is one of my day ones. First person, my first live, it must be almost 3 years ago now, which is insane. And now it's flying. And we both, do you remember when we said, I kind of want to get to YouTube? Here I am. It's crazy. Welcome in. So welcome in, everybody new. Say hi. Let us know what your medium is. Anyone wants to start us off with a question or wants to suggest a topic and I just start riffing? Happy to do that as well. It was a very long time ago. First time watching. Coconuts in Paradise. Welcome in. I'm happy you're here. 15 people in here. 6 likes. Thank you. I think the likes help. So who wants to start us off with a question? Or chat, tell me what your creative medium is. A lot is changing with me, Chris. Chris is my very first supporter and most consistent. I can't believe we're out here on the same time. That's crazy. Who's got a question? Somebody's got it in a hurry, so we got to go. What should I talk about? I took a break from the Villain Challenge because oh my gosh, I just did fascia release just now. Do I have any thoughts on fascia specifically? Yes, it is everything. For those who don't know fascia, so who asked the question? Yeah, Carly. I've started a new project of mine is to talk more about the body in relationship to creativity. That creativity is spiritual, something that I always say, but spirituality itself, as much as it gives us advice about creativity, it also gives us wisdom about the body, that the body is a technology of spirituality. It facilitates spirituality. And therefore, the body facilitates creativity, which is incredibly obvious, but it's something that is forgotten. The fascia is perhaps the most supernatural aspect of the human body. I think is what the latest research says. That those people are. I'm not a fascia expert in any capacity. I'm studying it to the best I can for my own personal stuff, and I'm developing a new series called The Body of Work, which is about the body's role in the spiritual nature of creativity. But everybody knows about magic mushrooms and the mycelium networks. These magical networks beneath the Earth's surface in the soil that communicate that mysteriously communicate between the natural world and hold, essentially functioning as the nervous system of the natural world, of the plant world, of the animal world, etc. um, of the ancestors and all that, which is what gives it its magical capacity, this nervous system communication function that the mycelium network holds on the planet. Fascia is soft tissue on the body that functions in the same way for human beings, that there is this casing, this web-like casing that is not quite skin, not quite muscle, more like sausage casing, like a web, a very dense spider web that stores and transmits emotion, that I don't even know how to describe it, but tending to your fascia, my thesis, will support your creativity in ways that you can't imagine. I recently did a retreat. I went to a retreat, yoga wellness retreat, where fascia was a huge part of the work, and I brought my creative intentions into this wellness retreat. My intention wasn't just to be well, to settle my nervous system. My intention, above wellness, above settling my nervous system, was to support my creativity. That I don't do something just because I don't do something, for example, settle my nervous system because I'm sick and I'm broken, because I'm not broken as a spiritual, in the spiritual sense. My self-concept is not someone who's broken. My self-concept is someone who is, no matter what, my body's got me and God's got me. And no matter what, I've got to be creative. We did a lot of fascia work, and it was very subtle, very gentle work. And the dividends in my creativity were more than any other period of my life in that 1 week. That what I learned is that the fascia, I don't know if people know about sacred geometry, the sacred geometry that is the building blocks of the universe, that under a microscope, fascia is in these structural geometric shapes. They're in these sacred geometric mineralized shapes. And when we go through trauma, experience difficult emotion, when we receive injuries, when we're dealing with pollution, bad food, when we receive, people's projections and or get in fights, when we don't sleep well, all these things, that structure, if I'm wrong, correct me, but I think I understand this right, that when something goes wrong, that beautiful sacred geometric structure goes out of whack. It collapses a little bit. It gets in knots. That the webbing of the fascia is meant to hold your body in. It's meant to hold emotions in a particular way. I'm really not the expert on this stuff, but I'm learning, and I'll get better. So thank you for your patience as I am vulnerable with something that I don't know a lot about. Anyway, it is quite possible, what I experienced is that my body is often held by the fascia in the posture. Let's say I go through something traumatic in my childhood. If it's bad enough, my fascia will hold my body in a particular posture. And so your chiropractor might call it bad posture. You're out of alignment. But really, at a deeper, more fundamental level of us, is that your fascia is holding on to an emotion and storing it in the body. And that's impacting your body years later. So that emotional imprint in the fascia is impacting how you move and therefore how you express yourself. Let's say I keep sadness or grief in my left shoulder. That means that is stored in me and shaping me every single day. And so what I'm trying to say is that you might have this inspired idea, this goal of yours in your creativity. You might have something important to express. You might want to try something new. But if your body is not underneath you, one, that's okay. You haven't sinned or committed a crime. But what you cannot do is think that there's something wrong with you. A lot of people think that if they feel stuck, if they're feeling some procrastination, if they're feeling some fear, they think that there's something wrong with them and they have to look at the level of, I have to fix myself. Something might need to be adjusted, but I think there's a difference between approaching your creativity as if you're broken versus enlisting your body in the endeavor to be creative. Does that make sense? Did you have a tower moment that led you to create? Of course I did. Are you kidding? Who? No, I didn't. Who doesn't have a what? Name an artist. Find me an artist that doesn't have a tower moment. A tower, I'm assuming, is a reference to the tarot. A collapse, of course. Of course I did. The death of my mother. I'm going through one right now. I went through one a year ago. Of course. How do you take care of your fascia? Hydrate. Get fascia release massage. Hydrate, you guys, not with water, with minerals. Your fascia needs mineralized water. I don't mean channel and I don't mean vessel. I think that's a thing that people say. I think people say vessel, and I mean something very different. I mean that the body is the location and is the technology of the body is a supercomputer. A vessel is an empty thing where the water comes in now. I don't mean vessel. I mean super elaborate technology where in which your heart and its pulse is related to creativity, that your blood is related, has some function in creativity, that your sex organs, that your fascia, that the reason you blink, the reason you breathe is not so that you can have oxygen in your lungs, it's so that you can be creative. The joints have sensory thing. I forget the word I'm looking for. Sensory things, receptors in them. Every aspect of your body is here to answer. Your nervous system is always answering the question, am I safe? And am I safe to create? Am I safe? The human body wants to create. And one way or the other, in the beginning, God created. There is infinitesimal, there's this elaborate matrix, billions and billions of systems and mechanical firings in the body that are here to support you in your creativity. That the heart itself, the what does the heart do? Does it keep you alive? No, fuck that. That's boring. That's basic. The heart wants to connect. The heart and its capacity, when well maintained, is stronger than, infinitely more powerful than your little fear of being seen. Your heart understands that vulnerability is gnarly, and your heart is stronger than the sensation, the uncomfortable sensation of vulnerability. That your body has the capacity to help you override shame. That your body does not, that when people say that you abandon yourself, you've abandoned yourself in that last relationship, when you were eating that food, when you were drinking that drink, whatever it was, you abandoned yourself. But I want you to think about something. Is it true that we can abandon ourselves? Yes, I abandoned myself. But what I want you to understand, and what the body wants you to understand, is that yourself did not abandon you. I want you to think about these. I want you to think about your body as something living and sentient and on board, interested in, deeply invested in the fact that you're creative, that your body is a spacesuit, a safety suit, the supercomputer, a technology of creation. That your spirituality, your capacity to communicate with God, with the inspired world, is part of you. Your body is the technology of making what is invisible in that inspired world and bring it into the invisible, the miracle of incarnation, making the invisible visible. Your body, you can abandon yourself, but yourself does not abandon you in return. If you've taken 10 years away from your creativity, if you've taken 5 years away because you were heartbroken, distracted, addicted to something, busy, poor, whatever it is, if you've taken some time away from your creativity did not take time away from you. So our minds are the location of the part of us, as is the matrix, the world that wants you to sell you something, that the self-help industrial complex wants to sell you something so that you think that you're broken. Oh, I have to put myself on a timeout before I can create, because I'm not creative because I took 2 years away to be a mother. I'm not creative anymore. That's a fucking lie. Tell your heart that you're not. Tell your heart and the God who created all beating hearts that the heart does not want to love, does not want to connect. This idea that the body does not punish us for taking time away. That's only the mind that does that. But the body is responsible for infinitely more, the body has more jobs than the mind. And those jobs are more sophisticated, more complex, more essential. The body itself does not punish us for taking time away. It doesn't punish us for failure. The body does not say, okay, you took 5 years away, so I'm going to make it that much harder for you to come back. Only the mind does that. The body, in fact, is busy when you get sick. Let's take it like a broken leg. Let's say you're playing basketball and you tear your ACL. The body does not punish you for tearing your ACL. The body gets busy healing and making that shit, getting you back on the basketball court as quickly as it possibly can. It'll do whatever it can to help close the gap, to pick up slack. It is, of course, the same way with your creativity. This is just a little bit of what I learned in this. In 1 week, I swear, I said this in the video that I posted, and there's going to be a lot more coming soon. But I said this in the video that that at the end of just 1 week of very gentle meditation, nothing impressive, nothing Goggins, a little bit of movement, a little bit of core work, a little bit of fascia release, a little bit of neural programming, stuff like that. Just a tiny bit, the smallest, the humblest possible gesture. Hey guys. The smallest possible gesture after 1 week had me feeling like I could use the actual force. I was like, oh my God. And the difference for me was lending my creativity, putting my body underneath my creativity, not just my intention, not just my desire. I'm going to get up and work out because I have something to create at the end of the day. Does that make sense? Any questions? Meditation and journaling are like sharpening. I totally agree, Sebastian. Pain and creation. What's the relationship? Can you speak to it, please? Pain and creation. What kind of pain? Marlon. The brain is an organ. We think we're... Who was the author of the book? Can you guys see it? Torquam Saradarian. I love this book. I'm a former federal worker that got RIF'd recently. I was on the EPA and environmental justice. I was creating desire and had a creative program all gone. Damn. Keep going. The quiet work. Please talk about how you can manage corporate life, a busy, stressful job. Well, I don't want to gaslight you. It's hard. You have 40, 50 hours at least to do in your day job. But I always answer this question this way. I mean, I don't know that I'm the time management girl. I'm the spirituality girl. I'm the vibes girl. And the way that I answer that question is, I think that a lot of the difficulty for me in my life was feeling ashamed that I had to have a corporate job in general. Oh my gosh, thank you. Love is legendary. That means so much to me. Oh my God. You guys have no idea what it feels like. It's like, man, I'm over here fighting for my life on these calls. Not because I love it, but it's like, I'm following the good Lord. So thank you for your support. It does, I'm paying my bills. It's not just a vanity thing. That my creativity changed a lot when I realized that I was creative 100% of the time. I'm creative when I'm busy. I'm creative when I'm asleep. I'm creative when I'm sick. I'm creative when I take 5 years away from my art. I'm learning something, and The universe is having me go through things. Later, Chris. Thanks. It's good to see you. Um, that creativity for me, more than it needed my time, which it does need, it needed me to take it seriously. It needed me to start seeing the world through my creative lens 24/7. It needed me to find meaning and purpose and human story and connection and inspiration, even inside of my corporate meeting. It needed me to learn about creativity from my corporate life, and as much as it needs me to learn about creativity and learn about what to create and listen and be inspired when I'm on a walk, when I'm going on a hike, when I'm in love, I'm creative. When I'm grieving, I'm creative. When I'm at work, I'm creative. And my art, more than it needed time, which it needs lots of time and it needs lots of energy and it needs money. But the fundamental thing that I needed was to release the shame of having to have a corporate job, because that shame was the reason that I was splintering off my energy. I had shame, which means, oh, I'm about having a corporate job. And so that means I only think about myself as creative on my days off. And that's really rest time. So that's how I would answer that question. And when you have that as the foundation, when you're creative all the time, it becomes easier to have boundaries. It becomes easier to know when to pull back and lean in at work, work harder so you can have the money. Having your creativity as the top in the hierarchy of needs in terms of your self-concept changes a lot. Marlon, or somebody asked you, and any likes or support you can give, guys, means a lot. Feel free to subscribe. Subscribers get prioritized questions. Supporters. I also have like 5 lectures that I'm about to put out for the student tier. Thank you. Thank you so much. Who was that? About 5 lectures that I'm going to put out for the student tier starting here next week. Lectures, and I'm going to try to do study guides. People really like my study guides, my journal prompts and stuff like that. I didn't know people liked them as much as I do, but I've been getting a lot of feedback. So I've been trying to, I have at this point days and days worth of content, and it's just sitting there. And it wasn't until recently that I realized that people cared. So I'm going to start releasing it. But I got to pay my bills. So any support you can give would be great. Okay, so back to, I think, Marlon's question about pain. Talk about pain and creativity. I love you, Marlon. You're very consistent on here. I need a more specific question. What's your question? I could go in a million different directions. Pain is commoditized. There's so much potential in pain itself, but art is generalized. I will say that in my experience, just to kind of spitball a little bit, that I'll say what James Baldwin says, that an artist, when they're coming up, is corralled, compelled into dealing with whatever it is that hurt them, dealing with their pain. But what he says is that what you must understand, James Baldwin says this, I almost have the whole essay memorized. What you must understand is that your pain is trivial, except insofar as you can use that pain to connect with other people's pain. That is what compels you, not to get to the bottom of your pain, but to grow fluent in our pain. That's what inspires you. That's what compels you. That's what you must do. The question I get, this question, that I really have a deep reactivity to these words that are dogmatic at this point, these things that people just say without knowing what they mean. As above, so below. Alchemizing pain. People say that all the time, but do you know what that means? You can define it, but do you know how to do it? Do you know what it looks like? Do you know how to do it beyond repeating what you read in a book? My take on something like that, how to alchemize pain. What's the relationship between pain and creativity in a way that you can use? Hello, hello. Thank you so much, guys. Every time, my little heart, You don't understand my little heart when I get these little supporters things. Yes, I'm grateful, but like, because I'm like, okay, my bills. But it's also like, you have no idea. You guys, I'm like you. I'm an artist. I got started talking about Darth Vader on the internet. My content about Darth Vader, and my first viral video 2 years ago was in the Kendrick Drake beef, talking about creativity and Hindu aesthetic philosophy that as represented in the Drake beef with Kendrick. And then it went viral. And now I'm fucking a full-time artist talking about Darth Vader. So what am I trying to say? Thank you. And you can do it yourself. You can do it. Don't you think that I have my shit more together than you do? All I have is that I'm doing it. If you don't have that, if the only thing, the villain thesis is excellent. Thank you so much. I'm incredibly grateful to God for that. I almost said proud of myself, but no, I can't be doing all that. I'm grateful. All glory to God. But pain, use it. Use your pain to crawl. It's the yellow brick road forward, not back. Let it be the thing that connects you to other people. Grief, loss. It's not your grief. It's capital G grief. Oh, you're so welcome. We still care about your videos, who changed my view on being an artist, and I couldn't thank you enough. I appreciate your words. I never wanted to be a corporate girly, and it's been taking up my life. I've decided to get back to my artistic self because it's important. Thank you. It is important. Yes, and do not be, and that's another thing. How do I manage the pain of being in corporate life and being creative? I mean, to a certain point, you can't, and you have to be. A huge part of what I talk about in creativity is that on my page rather is that you have to bear that and face that. Hey, man, I don't fucking like the distribution of labor between my corporate self and my creative self. Something has got to give. And that doesn't happen if you continue to try to mitigate it. At some point, let it eat you alive so that you can make a change. That's how a lot of us change. It's like, man, I'm uncomfortable. This hurts. Does that make sense? What other questions do we have? I'm just trying things in the. I got a new member. Thank you so much, guys. Can we get more? If we get to this 50, I will give a free workshop and I'll put it on all my socials. Can we do that? Can I try? I've never done this, so I'm just trying. It's another thing, guys. You can't be afraid to advocate for yourselves and ask for money. What's the best way to break the barrier between the ideas you have in your head and putting them into the world? That's my favorite question. What's the best way to break the barrier? You're going to hear me say this, though you guys have been here now. This is my third live I've done here. You've heard me say this a lot now, but I always say it. Favorite advice about creativity is the following, Elijah. In order to begin. What's the best way to break the barrier between the ideas in your head and putting them into the world? To break the barrier and to put them in the world. Jonathan, thank you so much. You have no idea. Every time. That really means a lot. What's the best way to break the barrier? To commit to putting something out. Regardless, don't worry about if the medium is right, if it's perfect. For a lot of people that I work with, for example, if you have a one-on-one relationship with me, a client of some kind, writers, for example, sketch artists. I love doing this with sketch artists. Get a sketch notebook and label it outside, make it all nice if you want. Shitty first drafts. My terrible magnum opus. Which is to say, how to overcome the barrier between what is inspired and getting into the world. Release, become obedient. You don't have to grow in skillfulness to start. You have to be obedient to start. The only thing preventing you from being obedient is shame and fear of failure and expectation that you have to be perfect before you start. Creativity is godly and godlike and full of unconditional love. And how do you know that? Because you can learn everything that you need to learn from failure. Oh, thank you, Keezy. Keezy asks, artist way or the creative act? I like them both. I think they're both true. If I'm going to answer wild card, neither. Ooh, why? For me, I love when I say the artist way, I have no notes, no feedback. But it's a little milquetoast for me. It's a little flaccid. Does that make sense? I like them both. It's a little anemic. Okay. I got to jump, guys. This is a short one, but we'll be back a little bit later. I'm going to try to be back around 7. Thank you so much. I'm deeply grateful. If I had to pick one, I'd say the creative act. For sure. If I had to pick. You guys, thank you so much. Take care.